Hello, hello. I am Ashen Ninja, and this is the latest in the Legendary Start Guides. This one I sway backwards and forwards with. I really don't like the Markus Wulfhart campaign, but I really, really love the concept of the Markus Wulfhart campaign. On the surface, it's his empire over in Lustria, but it's made very flavourful. It's made very different to the rest of the empire, and for that, I actually do commend CA on. It's it is one of those things. I don't really like Markus Wulfhart and the campaign. It's a bastard of a campaign. There's mechanics in it that I don't really like, and all these sorts of shit. But in the end, at the same time, it's really shows a lot of detail in the campaign. They've put a lot of effort into the way the campaign runs. It's very different from the other campaigns, so I've really got to give them points for that, though. So it personally, this one's not for me, but at the same time, I encourage them. I really, really hope they do more like it, more unique style campaigns. Because when you look at a lot of them, they're just like it's same guy, different location. General, most of the stuff you do is exactly the same. Slightly different guy, different location, still recruits the same, all that sort of stuff. But yeah. Anyway, I'll stop rambling on in a completely haphazard manner, and let's get a bit more into it. So, unlike with Carl and them, you can actually see your race attributes change. So we're with Mr. Emperor Carl Franz, you've got Imperial Authority, and you summon the elect accounts, blah 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 blah. You gain the Emperor's Mandate. So you receive the Emperor's acclaim by advancing the Empire's cause in Lustria, and you gain some heroes through friends that he's got and that sort of stuff. Now, so you start off as a faction with a limited roster, with only basic units for your army, so you can't get things like your crazy rocket artillery and things like that early on. But you do get reinforcements from the Empire as you do things and that sort of thing, and you hire them in a way that I'll show you. Hostile actions also mean you get retaliation from the local factions, which is the Lizardmen, of course. Again, I'll show you a bit of that as well. And you get a recruit rank of +3 for Huntsman Generals. Lord effects, you are Markus Wulfhart, so your ambush defense chance is +50%. Ambush success chance is also +50%. You have an upkeep of -50% for archers and huntsmen. You have diplomatic relations -40 with lizardmen, which is great considering you're in Lustria, surrounded by them. And your army has the woodsman attribute, which I don't even know what it does. I don't remember. Go me for my research abilities. Anyway, yeah, so you start with a war wagon, which... Anyway, some huntsmen, which are anti-large, vanguard deployment, stalk, firewall, moving. They're actually pretty good. He buffs them as well throughout his skill trees. So, yeah, huntsmen, very, very good. And you start with archers, who are piss weak. But they're still archers, so they're still better than melee units, honestly. At least on Legendary. Legendary, there's massive buffs to your enemy melee. So there you go. So, along with that, we are doing Legendary campaign, very hard battle, Legendary Chaos Invasion. Legendary Chaos Invasion here probably won't affect too much for this particular campaign, but I don't know. Again, your mileage may vary. They may just smash their way through the Dark Elves and come and wreck you as well. But who knows? Who knows? As usual, all the tactics and that sort of thing can be used in lower difficulties. You'll just have less things like public order issues. The AI will get less cheats, and you might get to fight some not quite so hardcore armies, but that's fine. All good. So he's far away from his Imperial allies. You don't even have communication with them. So, yeah, so that's always good. Now, start with the Temple of Kara. So you start with a minor settlement that's only got a rank 1 recruitment building in it. So you can't get much at all. I don't really go for the rank 2 one straight off the bat, because the only thing you don't really want to recruit any of those, because crossbowmen are going to be expensive. You want to get archers instead. But once you can actually get up to huntsmen, then you definitely want to get going on it. Now, to start with, we have our little starter bit of lizardmen. We've got Markus Wulfhart with his three thingies, spearman, swordsman, and Markus himself. Now, let's see if we can actually see what the woodsman trait does. Woodsman, this unit can pass through trees. That's what you get. His entire army can have trees pass through them without getting bark stuck in their anuses. Markus himself is pretty good at ranged combat. Lots of ammo, lots of range, decent amount of damage. He's not so good in melee, but he will hold his own, at least for a bit. But you don't want him up against lords and that sort of thing, because they will wreck him. Now, when we have a look at him himself, we already went through his special trait dealy. So his blue line is pretty standard Imperial blue line. He has things like Quartermaster, but he doesn't have the extra that you get from some of the other lords from Warhammer 2. But some of these are still pretty good. I'd go as far as Quartermaster and Lightning Strike down here at least. Blue line again is pretty much the same as the others as well. You pretty much want to go Pistol Core and Imperial Gunnery, because you still can get artillery, as you'll see soon, and probably Sharpshooter and maybe Artillery Master. His main combat line here is mostly focused on melee, but he does get some snares and that sort of thing, so having a snare is a good thing. Being able to prevent your enemy moving while they're right in front of you, very, very good thing. It's also why, for his campaign, I recommend Light Wizards over Fire Wizards, which is unusual because I really love Fire Wizards, but Net of Amontok, when you are using a Hunter army, is just gold. The reason you use Hunter army is because of things like this line. So this is basically makes him even better at shooting himself, with things like that, sure, time, constant effects, all allies in range, so that's really good for him standing around his men. Executioner is quite a good shot as well. And then there's, of course, his unique lineup here. Recruit rank for all units +2. Missile resistance 10, melee defense 10. Campaign movement range, campaign line of sight, casualty replenishment rate. So far, you want to spend all three of these. Upkeep, another -15% for huntsmen and archers, +8 melee attack for huntsmen, +10% huntsmen and archers missile damage or missile strength. Double shot ammunition, extra projectiles for huntsman units. Reload time reduction +8%. Range +12. Enable sundering attacks. And Vanguard deployment and immune to psychology for his army. So you definitely want that line. It's really good for your army. He can get the Amber Bow as well. It gives him extra missile strength again. Enables magical attacks, and it has the Amber Bow ability. Otherwise, this is just the same old crap that's not really very useful. So really, basically, you want to buff the absolute crap out of Huntsman with him and smash him up. Now, the next thing is he has 4 unique heroes. One is a Witch Hunter. You've got to be at war with the Vampire Coast Mutineers. We can sort that out very quickly. We've got the Unknown Hunter here, which is a Dwarf Engineer. He increases ammunition capacity and lowers upkeep for artillery. What does he do? Yeah, specialized veteran warrior supporting healer. I don't really think he does that. I think he's actually better on the campaign map than in your army. Him you want in the army. Then you've got... Oh, which one's he? That one is... Oh, yeah. This one is an elf. Again, raise hostility level to very hostile. That'll just naturally happen. Unrivaled archer, talent with bow, unmatched by any other Imperial soldier. Basically, you keep him in the army, you shoot stuff. Now, move any character to Zlan Huapek, and you get yourself a... I believe he's actually a Bretonian. He's a champion survivor capable of withstanding the worst of the worst, which isn't quite true, but still. So, yeah, so you can get your 4 unique heroes as well. And you will get to Zlan Huapek. In my opinion, what you can do is you basically can go to war with them. You should get one of your heroes there. You send that hero off to Zlan Huapek, you get another hero. So on and so forth. Just kind of gather them a bit. But to start, what I'm going to do is go fight him. So as you can see, we outnumber him, but apparently our balance of power is quite even, so we better fight this manually. So let's get into some lizardmen. So just based on what army you've got is really telling on what you're going to do. You're going to basically form a shield wall of swordsmen and spearmen. We're backed up by huntsmen and archers. And send your mighty Harriet and gun wagon around to slaughter every... well, you do that, but it don't slaughter shit. So what we'll do is we'll plop ourselves next to this to help prevent flanking. 2 up there. War wagon there. Marcus, you can hang that to the side. And we start our battle. So Marcus, we'll move him up. And we'll get our war wagons up around behind them. So Mr. Wulfhart, I'm going to have him shooting at Ramadan? Scar projectile, good against armor, good against large combatants. We're going to fire that at him. Hopefully we'll hit. Maybe. Sometimes hard to tell what these things are going to do. Yep, did shit all. He's currently firing at feral cold ones. That may as well fire at Saurus warriors will be a better target. So they've actually sent their lord off after the war wagons. That's fine. Should be able to get rid of them pretty easily. Marcus, you can have a fight with them, that's fine. Now they are, yep, they're just going to fire at them, so we'll get our war wagons giving them a bit of a shooting. As you can see, like I said, Marcus ain't exactly the best at this. The old melee thing with Marcus ain't too good. Shoot into the back of those cold ones now that they've flanked us. Keep dumping fire into them. They're doing better than I was expecting them to there. That's good. The ferals have broken now. Let them just keep absorbing stuff with their shields. Their lord is just like way away from doing anything to us whatsoever. See if we can hit him this time. Probably can't. Get our war wagons down here. I think they've now got more health than they used to have. Not health, ammo. Let's get them, because let's remake them run. Good, they're shattered now. That's good. Make sure they shatter now too, please. You guys shoot at him. Let's send them up to get in behind here. You fire at him as well. Alright. Archers and huntsmen, fire at him, please. That's to be expected. Our swordsmen are junk against them, so can't expect a lot. Our war wagons doing what they're doing there. Yeah, they've done actually surprisingly well. I think if we can break their lord, it should be the end of things here. We'll pull them out of that combat. That's good, they've broken again. He's trying to get close, but he's just... Actually, I think we should get them shooting into the back of them now. Our other swordsmen have rallied, but let's not bring them back to the fight. I don't think there's any need for that. Well, they're all out of ammo now. Markus is still going strong though. They've still got 8 ammo left. And a surprisingly large number of kills, to be honest. They've gone berserk. Which is bad for us. Oh, come on. Oh, my army loss penalties are just kicking in. Just as the Lord makes it. Spearman, I want you to get onto him. Let's wipe him out. Let's actually get you guys on them, please. And you can melee them as well. You just stop shooting, please. Let's see if we can get as much wiped out as possible. There we go. Just so that we can have less comeback. They were the ones that really dealt damage to us. That's alright. I don't think we managed to get the Lord, but that's fine. 227 losses, 167 of them were done by the Saurus Warriors. They just hang around. They just do. Surprisingly good work from the war wagons, probably because I spent my entire time flanking with them, which is probably what you're supposed to really do with them. I don't really think you need more than one, though. But that's good. Most of that force is completely wiped out. I'm going to take the treasury, because we're going to need more money.
Let's go! Done, comrades.
Can't follow up. Ruined recovery time -1.
By the Emperor's authority.
I think what we should do is go into ambush stance. No, we won't.
Markus Wulfhart.
We're going to go into recruitment stance. Why would you go in ambush stance? Alright, technology-wise, there is a couple of little different things here. You do have your hunting advances here. Everything else is pretty much the same as always for the Empire. Main things I'd personally be looking at is missile fire, war machines, and this particular hunting advance to get extra replenishment rate and public order. This can be quite good as well because you actually get extra imperial supplies. So I'm actually going to start with the Hunters Guild so that I can get more replenishment rate, because for me at the moment that's the most important one as far as I'm concerned. Now, my advice, well, I'll get into that in a second actually. Let's just quickly see what we can do diplomatically while I'm thinking of it. So, not a lot we can actually do. You don't really want to deal with them or them, but if we can try and get a trade agreement with them would be good, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
The sea knows my fate.
Now them, we should, if we declare war on them, that gets us Van Hal. So that gets us our first hero.
Show me the accused.
We could have actually done this before the first battle.
Traitors always get found out.
Now he's driven by vengeance. We get a -10 with the Vampire Coast, plus 8 melee defense when fighting things like Vampire Coast and that sort of thing as well, though. In the army, I think he has a replenishment. No, he does scavenge. So, but that's fine. It says things about him actually helping out the army, so I don't really get what that's from, but whatever. Now what we want to do, because one of our other heroes, where was our hero bar? So we've got him. As you go up through here, he actually gets various rewards as well. So going through these. So getting through these objectives will help you with that. Now what we want to do is we've got to move a character to the Spine of Sotek, which is here. Which actually starts about here, I believe. So it's not too far away. And that'll get us the dwarf. This one we need to raise our thingy, and here we need to move a character to the Zlan Huapek region for the Bretonnian. So what I'm going to do with this fella is get him going down here to start with. Better do the thing I always forget to do. Get everything moving faster. Now, my advice for the way to move your campaign. Where you are is very easy to attack. You don't want to stay very easy to attack. Getting something like Talanxlan seems like a good idea, but isn't really that great an idea. Personally, I'm going to head to Spetskuna. One of the best things to do, though, is head down this way and go fight the Zetians. So, now that I'm thinking about it, that might be the better way of doing things, because then at least we might get something higher than rank 1. Don't worry too much about losing things like settlements behind you. Just make sure you can keep recruiting those archers, and you should be okay. But if you can get yourself where you essentially have your back to the wall and they can't come at you at 4 directions, you should be okay as the start. It's probably one of the only campaigns I would recommend that, to essentially flee from your enemies. But just because it's a rare thing doesn't mean it's bad advice.
They are no match for the Huntsmaster's troops.
Alright, let's finish him off. Oh no, we're not going to be able to make it to him. So as you can see, even going down there, everything takes you a really long time here.
Covering ground.
And it's a real pain. We're going to move him just a little bit. Get some more archers.
I trust no man.
There. Archers, 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 archers. Archers, archers. That's basically what I'm doing.
Only surrender will save
So-
your beloved Lustria.
Yes, with it now. So as you can see, there's not a lot we can do. I expect to lose that. If we need to, what we can do is we can grab our Huntsman General. Just to help out with the defense there when it does happen. Till then, don't worry too much. Try not to go into too many wars. Okay, so he's going to force march there. That's actually not a bad thing. We're going to have a decent amount of
Move
archers.
aside for the Emperor's expedition.
And what we're going to do is force march after him now.
Time to waste. Covering ground.
So we want to get there as quickly as possible. He'll start recruiting next turn. We don't want him to get too many things. Let's see. This will get us into that province. We might need to still actually... We only got 4 acclaim at the moment. Might actually need to try and get them there faster. So, oh, we've encountered the cult of Sotek now, which is fine. Which is fine. So you can actually go after to Lanxlin early on, if you do want to. Again, not what I recommend, but you know, you do you.
Yes. Time to move.
Okay, so he's got 7 at the moment. We should still be okay. He's not actually recruiting right now.
Pick up the pace. Master Engineer.
Beautiful. That gets us our Master Engineer.
Unflinching.
As you can see, we've got him doing his job. Now,
Or not.
he's clever. Increases our research rate. Our hero cost is down by 5%, and our hero action cost is up by 5%. Action success chance. What am I saying? And we'll give him wound recovery time as well, just because. So he's our Dwarf Engineer. If we have a look at his guild tree, his is the usual Dwarven, increases ammunition, increases range. Oh, that's his range. Increases the army's damage, and so forth. So yeah, let's definitely have him helping us out. So he's going to help us wreck some shit, which is great. Now,
I'll wager they are
as for our
calls.
huntsman, let's get him down to Zlan Huapek next. Down that way, because we want the next hero.
Bow down to
Because
Imperial
that
might.
will be an extreme amount of help for us. Alright, we can't go any further this round, so that's going to be it for this episode.
Surrender will save your
As you can see, we've got 2 turns here before we get Imperial supplies. When we do get Imperial supplies, they come up in that. So same sort of thing where you're recruiting. You get the options for that. I will be showing you that in the next episode. Meanwhile, what we'll be doing is taking to Lanxler. We're basically going to take cities and then kind of abandon them as we go. We're not actually abandoning them, but we're just kind of leaving them to the forest to decide what to do with them. Meanwhile, I'll see you in the next episode. We've only made it to turn 4 because we had a battle to start with. I'll see you then. I've been Ashen Ninja. Hope this has been helpful so far. I'll see you soon.